2015, and we took a chance at trying to flip a seat in Prince William County that had literally in its history never been won by a Democrat. In its elected history, it had never been won by a Democrat. And we did that. And we had 1 million people telling us you can't win. In fact, somebody high up told us we had a 0% chance of winning, which is not a great percentage, not a super good percentage, that we had a 0% chance of winning that race. But that didn't matter, because ultimately, I love being the underdog. I was a college baseball coach for 15 years, right? And I love the underdog role. I love when people think, well, you're not supposed to win. Because I've been in those situations. And people ask me, Danica, one day, I think I still have the text messages. We're not going to pull them out quite yet. They might have to go into a library somewhere that you and I exchanged trying to get the non-discrimination policy passed, because they're really quite amazing. But when people ask me how I can take those grenades, how I can sit there and be verbally abused for hours, how I can take a recall effort trashing me and my family and everything that I've ever done, people personally attacking me and making up lies, there's two answers. One, there's nothing you can say to me that Ohio State fans didn't already say when we played. Right? And two, if they're willing to say that to a straight white guy on a board, into a microphone, with cameras recording for eternity, to be put online and anywhere else you want. If they're willing to say that to me in public, if they're willing to tell me that I only want to update the non-discrimination policy in Prince William County because I want to see girls raped in the bathroom, if they're willing to say those things on camera to me, what in God's name are they saying to our LGBTQ students and staff behind closed doors? My job as an elected official isn't to fight for people who look like me. Isn't to fight for people who think like me. That's part of the job. But that's the easiest part of the job of being an elected official. That's the easiest thing. It's the easiest thing for Danica to do, to fight for people who look and talk and act like you and hang out with you and believe in everything that you believe. They're the easiest people to do things for. Where it gets hard, and what people should act and expect out of their elected officials, is for people to fight for people who don't look like them, who don't love like them, who don't pray like them, and who don't have what they have. I won't be able to look. I'm going to have federal health care in about a year with your help. And I can't look a single constituent in the eye and tell them they shouldn't have similar health care, even if they can't afford it. Because ultimately, it's about who can we help. Who can we help that doesn't look like you? Because I am lucky. I grew up in Cumberland, Maryland. And I think statistically speaking, is 108% white. Right? I'm not great at math.
That's close.
Yeah, Brown, Dan, figure that out for me. Right? As a straight white guy growing up in Cumberland, Maryland, a county with about 72,000 people in it, we have more students in our school system in Prince William County than the county I grew up in. We have 90,000 students in Prince William County, 11,000 employees. Right? I grew up in a rural area and I fit in perfectly. I didn't have the challenges, the social challenges that some people have growing up every single day. But what I learned very quickly is that you have to fight for people who can't fight for themselves. And that's why I love being a Democrat. I'm not going to lie. I'm a proud Democrat. Our party's not perfect. I'm never going to claim it's perfect. That's why we're involved in our local committees. That's why we're always trying to switch it and change it and make it better and change its directions. Parties aren't perfect. But what I love about being a Democrat is that I get to stand up and fight for 20, 30, 40, 50, hundreds of people who don't have the time or ability to come fight for themselves. That don't have the time or ability. Low-income families don't come to school board meetings. They can't line up for hours and wait for 4 or 5 hours in a board meeting and fight for their kids to have a good education because they're working 4 jobs each. They don't have the ability to come do that. They need elected officials to do that fight for them. And we have to stand up for them even though they're not there to tell me how wonderful I am and how much they agree with me. We still have to do this even though it feels awkward. And it's easy to go, you know what? I'm just going to do everything my neighbors want me to do, be really comfortable, never have anybody yell at me in the cul-de-sac, and just call it a day. right? That's the easy thing to do, is to retreat back into your shell and not fight for people. I have publicly funded healthcare today through the school system. I have to pay my premium for it like everybody else does in the school system. But we have to fight for healthcare so people can live and pay for their medication. One of the most unexpected jobs about not only running for office, but actually unexpected things, about running for office and being elected is that I was totally unprepared for people to tell me their stories the way that they do. I have a business degree. I'm not a counselor, right? But I am proud of the way people feel comfortable to come up and tell me their stories. We recently had a meeting with a woman in Manassas with cystic fibrosis whose medicine costs $400,000 a year without health insurance, without prescription drug coverage. And she told me her exact words when especially early in the Trump administration, when they were talking about getting rid of health care. She said, I'm not trying to get better. I'm not trying to get a raise. I'm not trying to expand my career. I'm not trying to do anything other than survive 4 years. I am trying to medically survive. I'm not trying to improve my life in any way, shape, or form for the next 4 years. I'm just trying to survive in case they cut the Affordable Care Act and they eliminate it completely. She talked about how her medicine, and I don't hate to get it wrong, but she talked about basically when you eat with cystic fibrosis, it fills up your lungs. And so she would have to choose between taking her medicine and eating. Because if she didn't have the medicine, she couldn't eat. Vice versa, right? So she would have to make those decisions based on if she was going to eat or take her medicine, if she couldn't afford them at the time. And then when the Affordable Care Act came in, that changed everything for her. And she was able to get the medicine in the way that she needed it. And it's a story that I never would have known unless she told me. And everyone has those stories, right? Dan, don't get me if I'm wrong, you're going to throw a grenade at me maybe, but at one point in time, 60% of bankruptcies, personal bankruptcies, were medical related, 50 to 60% medical related. Republicans will tell you it's because of iPhones. It's not. They'll tell you it's because somebody has a television in their house. It's not, right? 60% of bankruptcies are medically related. They got sick. They got in a car accident. They didn't have insurance, and now they're financially ruined, possibly for the rest of their lives, because they got sick. That can't happen in the wealthiest country in the world. It simply can't happen. Then we get to kind of what we've accomplished, what we've done over the last year or two. It's bigger than just teacher pay raises, although I'm proud of the 2 teacher pay raises that we gave, and I'm also proud that we put nurses on the professional pay scale this past year, which was kind of like a double pay raise for them. Then we not only did that, we actually eliminated the bottom step of the step increase for teachers and moved it to the top. So what did that do? That had the net effect of raising first-year teacher pay, because you took the one, now step 1 is now eliminated, so step 2 now became step 1 essentially, right? So that now raised that pay, and we put step 1 back at the top, which added a year for our most expensive teacher, or for our most seasoned teachers. So the ones who had been around for 30 years were at the top of the step scale, they now weren't maxed out, they could move up 1 step. They could move up and get extra pay. Why is that important? It's actually more important than what people think. It's just like, oh, people want more money, I get it. But it's not just about that. 75% of teachers are women. 75% of teachers are women. I really have a hard time believing, in fact, I think it's impossible, that you could convince me that if 75% of teachers were men, we'd be talking about underpaid teachers. We would. We would have solved that problem a long time ago, right? We wouldn't be talking about underpaid nurses, which I think, again, math-wise, I think school nurses are about 110% female. I think something like that, something along those lines. And so it's women deserve to be breadwinners in their family too. They deserve, for a full day's work that I could never do in a million years. I visit kindergarten classrooms and I'm like, thank God I get to leave. I get to go and rave and read a book. I don't know how to control that. I have no training to do that, right? They are amazing people. They have the patience of Job to go in and do the things that they do. It's an amazing thing to watch and be a part of. But it's a thing that we have to do, because you should be able to work a full-time job, being a teacher in Prince William County, and be able to afford to live in Prince William County. That should happen. We should raise the pay and raise the value of being a teacher, because no, can I snap my fingers as a school board chairman overnight and make teaching a better paying profession? No. What we can do is this. In 2015, I ran on the idea of giving maternity and paternity leave to teachers in Prince William County schools. I was actually laughed at by some people in my own party. Now we've got a chance to do it. Now we've got a chance to add maternity leave and paternity leave in Prince William County schools. We've got the votes to do it, hopefully, as long as we can find the money to do it. And we can get in there so we can begin to attract some of the younger teachers that we can't necessarily compete with on a pay scale with higher paying school systems. And we can bring some of our younger teachers and families in to raise their family in Prince William County, hopefully, and to be able to bring them in so they can stay in Prince William County and be teachers in our school system for a long time. Because my kids have had wonderful experiences at Prince William County, and we want to make sure that teachers are able to do that.